Hey guys, Stock Series episode 69. Don't think Trading212 are open, but you can give the link a try if you want. So, good week for the portfolio actually, up about £5,000 overall. Part of that come from the IG portfolio, which was mostly because of Hive blockchain, to be honest. So I haven't had that long and it's already up 15%. Argo sort of not doing too bad, but not keeping pace with some of the others. And gold and silver sort of trickling up a little bit. Silver sort of outperforming gold slightly. So my sort of little Fortuna Silver Mines one, which is sort of speculative silver stock, getting towards positive again now, where that was sort of 25% down at one point. Not bad. And Freeport McMoran, actually, they're more in the sort of copper side, so they're in the green as well. So still hoping for good things for this towards the end of the year. And over to Trading212, so the ISA's up about £1,200, £1,700. That's a good week. The ARC Pi hasn't moved. What have moved? Some of the US REITs. So 5.6% on American Tower. Don't think there's any specific news. It's just people sort of liking REITs a little bit more again. Argo blockchain, so it's up 5.5%, even with Bitcoin breaking all-time highs. So a little bit disappointing. On the monthly, down 21%, with all the sort of NASDAQ hype from last month. So, expecting a bit of a move. I mean, when Argo was at its all-time high, sort of February, I think Bitcoin was at sort of $52,000 and sort of over 60 now. So, surprised to see it still where it is, but patience. Bitcoin ETP has been a little bit up and down, so we're sort of close to where we were at the beginning of the week, or sort of end of last week, so that hasn't really moved. But just to put Argo into perspective, this is up 42% in the last month, and Argo's down 20 odd, so a little bit disappointing, but we'll carry on. Sentiment down slightly actually, so silver has done better. Digital Realty 6.3%, a little bit more than American Tower actually, so that's gone well. First Majestic starting to spring into life a little bit. Silver sort of had a fairly good week really, so 6.8% on that, getting back towards a nice profit. The LM Funding America was a sort of little penny stock that I bought a little while ago, and they're starting to get into crypto mining, sort of ordered a load of cards, but it's going to be sort of second quarter next year before they get going, similar to Argo blockchain really, with their expansion into the sort of Texas facility. So, but they're going up sort of just with any crypto news. If you can spell crypto, then you're going up at the moment for the most part. So not sure how long I'll keep that, but just a little bit of sort of different crypto exposure. Polymetal having a reasonable week, with silver doing well, sort of does a little bit better than sentiment. Realty income up 3%, so that's not bad. Spin off of their office side, Verit coming soon. Stag 2.78% for the week, pretty good. 30% on that on a REIT up, so you don't get that very often. Sylvania is pretty flat, but I think the sort of rhodium outlook looks reasonably good from here. And the Tritaxes are sort of fairly flat for the week. Same with Vici pretty much. So yeah, not all of the REITs, but doing pretty well. So that's the ISA. Pretty good week. Looking forward to the next couple of weeks, really. And the invest side has been a little bit up and down, but yeah, up about £1,200 overall. Gains sort of all over the shop, really. Alibaba 5.8% up. The Chinese still sort of soldiering on with the gains from the bottom recently. Yes, and I've made some changes. So I sold off Anthem, sort of healthcare company in the US. Didn't really know sort of enough about them. Been having to think about sort of positions. Yeah, so I sold off Anthem. It did rocket up. It's gone up about sort of over 10%, I think, since I sold it. So that was a pretty poor move, but yeah, win some, you lose some. And I sold off Cardinal Health. I was kind of only holding on to it, really. It's sort of been down since I bought it. No real sort of positive news, earnings downgrades, and I was sort of holding on because I see Michael Burry's still got it in his portfolio, but he may have got rid of it now, I don't know. But yeah, not really enough. I just thought I'd get rid. And yeah, so Apple and Alphabet, I know I put these sort of on my doomsday list as sort of things to buy if there's a crash, but I thought, you know, this much is sort of a fairly small amount of the portfolio as a whole, so thought I'll get into them now and just sort of start a small position, and if we get a crash then I'd go a bit heavier into them. But they don't look terrible value here, so I thought, yeah, we'll start a small position. Google sort of dropped a little bit and Apple's slightly up, so yeah, so I sold Cardinal, Anthem and Invesco. Invesco is just sort of a small little position, sort of reasonable value. I just thought might as well get rid of that, and I averaged down on ASOS. So yeah, pretty much doubled that position now, and sort of only 8% down with my average at £30 now. So yeah, they've sort of rocketed back into life, 15% in the last week, nearly 16%. Yeah, a little bit of an overblown sort of drop, I think, with the CEO leaving. So they're looking good. Arch Daniels still powering away, 3.5%. So yeah, can't even see my buy price on them anymore. You have to go all the way back. So yeah, really happy with them. What we got? Aviva, pretty flat. Baidu, 8.6% up on the week, doing really well. Getting near enough towards my buy price now, so I'm just about break even, which is good. Bank of Nova Scotia up slightly. So Barrett's down 6.6%. This seems to be UK house builders. Taylor Wimpey's down as well, which I'll come to later. Can't really see what the issue is. So yeah, hopefully with the crypto moves coming soon, I don't think the sales are going to be far away, and I'll get to put a fair amount into probably this account. Yeah, and I think Barrett and Taylor Wimpey looking like a reasonable buy, so probably have a fair bit going into them. Bristol Myers pretty flat. Broadcom 2.4%, doing pretty well. Hasn't been sort of solidly above $500 for quite a while, so yeah, 16% up on them. Growing dividend, pretty happy. eBay, another one, 7.5%. I haven't seen the news. I can only assume this is anticipation of earnings. I haven't sort of seen any incredibly positive news to come out of them, but yeah, good move towards the end of the week. See what the earnings brings, but yeah, 40% up on them now. Really happy with them. FedEx trickling up slightly, but not too much. Glencore down 5.8%, so this was starting to sort of go on a little bit of a run, really. Sort of come down a little, which not too bothered about. Would like to increase this, obviously only being 1,100 quid, so that's pretty good. Hewlett Packard 7.7% up. I think this was strong earnings. I haven't really looked into it that much. I am considering sort of maybe selling this one off. It's done okay, 3% up, but I haven't got a huge amount of conviction in that. Himax, I sort of would like to average down on, really. I sort of, when it was under $10, I was considering it. Sort of, if it hovers around here, then I probably will top it up with some of the crypto money when it comes. But Intel, so I was pretty much at break even, really, sort of during the week, and then this one's gone down 9%. So they come out with their earnings release. Didn't seem all that bad, really. Sort of profit reasonably where they thought it would be. Revenue maybe slightly down, but it was the sort of outlook for reduced profit going forward and sort of having to spend a lot more money rather than doing buybacks and be sort of any sizable dividend raise. So thinking they're having to spend an awful lot to try and catch up to the competition. And the sort of market is not really happy with that when you see AMD and Nvidia and people like that sort of rocketing ahead. But obviously Intel were already at a cheaper valuation. So yeah, looking to probably put a reasonable amount in here, even though it is already a fair position. But yeah, if it stays where it is, probably will. International papers pretty flat. Most of the ETFs are pretty flat as well. Japan down a little. Global clean energy 2% up. Europe pretty flat. Most of those others are pretty flat. Lennar sort of, yeah, so as I say, this is UK house builders that have dropped. Lennar sort of up on the week. Haven't really seen news as to why that would be. Lockheed Martin sort of coming back. Micron, I did have a couple of £100 sort of spare from the sales this week, and just put that into Micron as well. Would like to increase that though. Similarly with Nintendo, down 3% on the week. Still sort of expecting maybe a bit of a rough earnings release in November, just sort of comparing to last year. Last sort of third quarter would have been pretty good, so it's going to look bad in comparison. But yeah, and with them not having a sort of proper new Switch Pro, probably not the best outlook. Not sure if they're going to get sort of rampant sales into Christmas. So yeah, I don't think there's sort of any huge rush to get into them, but I certainly would be looking to add more and average down. Porsche 2% down on the week, nothing too much. Process, as I say, pretty much all the Chinese tech is doing well, so with their Tencent, that's gone pretty well, 6.6% up. Renault down quite a bit. Haven't seen particular news on this, but yeah, it's only sort of fairly small cap, doesn't take that much to move it down. Rio Tinto 6.95%, so I think this is still sort of steel price coming down, people realising profit is going to be quite a lot lower than sort of trailing 12 months, but looks pretty good. Copper and aluminium, which are sort of their smaller side, yeah, looking good. All-time highs pretty much both of them for copper and aluminium. So yeah, lithium on the way in 3 or 4 years, 5 years maybe. So I'll be looking to add more of these. And Shell 1.4% down, nothing too much. It's sort of had a really good run the last month, so see where that goes. Samsung, I am certainly looking to increase. That's sort of just bumbling around where it is. Sony pretty flat for the week. Small cap ETF the same. Stellantis down a couple of percent, but nothing too much. Probably looking to add more to that as well. TSMC as well, I think looks pretty good. Sort of seeing Apple coming out with their new chips for the laptops and everything, and Alibaba coming out with a new sort of server chip, and the sort of rumours were they would potentially be using TSMC or Samsung. So if I have both of them, I'm okay. Apple exclusively use TSMC, so yeah, all seems good news. Still at I mean, it's not cheap, but yeah, I think it's worth the money, to be honest, for sort of what is almost a monopoly. Taylor Wimpey down 5.05%, as I say, sort of bit of a trickle down on the UK house builders. Tesla, yeah, my 3 shares of Tesla, 7.8% or 7.9% up. So they had a really strong earnings, sort of as expected. That's kind of the reason for sort of buying more of this recently. So yeah, not sure how far I'm going to let this run, but 16, 17% up nearly. If it starts to run away, sort of, then I might sell off again. That's what I did last time and seemed to work out reasonably well. Turtle Beach down 6.6%. I think I need to look into this and just see if there's any sort of particular news on this. Just seems to be some companies sort of moving around a fair bit on very little news. Tyson 3.5% into the 80s, looking good. Vale 8.4% down, so this one sort of annoying a lot of people. Sort of last 3 months really, this has been trickling down. They have had a big dividend, so yeah, that contributed part of it. But yeah, looks very good value at the moment. They've sort of got copper and nickel, where Rio Tinto have aluminium instead of nickel. But yeah, looking to top up. It's only not even £700 now. So yeah, we'd like to sort of even that out, maybe even towards sort of my Rio Tinto position level. And video games up slightly, probably partly due to Tencent. Viatris up slightly, and yeah, Volkswagen down slightly. So interesting week. As I say, sort of the exciting times probably coming maybe early to middle of next month, depending on when the crypto rises. Could be sort of adding, I would say, at least 30,000 next month. So we'll see. So leave your thoughts in comments below, and like and subscribe. See you soon.